All right. So this is going to be our first Key Staff. So if you guys are watching the recording of this, Key Staff is an event that PAX is going to be leading every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. for the next foreseeable future. And on days that we have Leadership Academy, since all of you guys will be at Leadership Academy, we are going to have it on a 3-week cycle. So we'll do 3 weeks, take up a week off, 3 weeks, take a week off when we have Leadership Academies. So what the point of Key Staff really is to help you guys level up your sales, help you guys level up as people. So it's a personal growth and a professional growth activity and exercise. So make sure you guys have your notes. You guys, I'm not sure how much you know about Pax, but Pax started the job in 2018. He's over $92,000 in sales, so almost at his $100,000 promotion, which is pretty cool and pretty exciting. I actually learned how to sell from Pax when I was an assistant manager as well, which is pretty cool, pretty exciting. He has done a lot of work with our CSP team and our Fair and Show team. He also was a branch manager the same year that I was a branch manager. So he has the management skills, the sales skills, and he's higher in career sales than I am. So he's very good at what he does. And I even take notes and learn from him as well. So I'm going to let Pax kind of kick this off and lead this. And this is probably the last you're going to see me until I come and stop the recording.
What are you doing right now?
Working on some other stuff.
You should actually sit and take notes.
All right.
Anyway,
besides the point. So make sure you guys have your notebooks taken out and make sure you guys give Pax your full 100%. If you're watching the recording of this, you guys know the drill, 77 takeaways, and I'll know that you watched it. So anyway, Pax, go ahead and kick it, man.
cool. I'm really excited to get started with this. I have a lot of stuff that I'm excited to teach you guys. Luckily, with it just being just you two, I'm hoping you guys have questions. So that way we can, I can really give you both good attention and good, skills as well. So the first thing I need you both to actually grab your cell phone. I know we're going to be taking notes, but at the end of this, I'm going to be talking about Audible. And that's a big culture thing I want to have with everyone in Key Staff. A big part of Key Staff is going to be really investing into yourself. And I think Audible is one of, if not the best ways to do that. So I want you both to just grab your phone right now. I don't know if you already have it installed. If you already have it installed, great. But if not, go ahead and go into the App Store and just start installing it so that when I talk about it later, it's already installed. And just give me a thumbs up once the install is started. Kayla's good. Sydney's good. Perfect. Cool. So we have that done. Cool. You can put your phone away and we don't have to worry about that now. We know it's just taking notes. So to start off, really the big thing I want to talk about today, and this is what if you start coaching with Blake or Charlie or any of the CSPs where they start, and it's really, it is the core of the job, where everything kind of builds out of, and it's really understanding yourself and why are you selling Cutco. So I want you to write that down. Why are you selling Cutco? You, Sydney, and you, Michaela, and for me, Pax. Like, why are we doing this? There's a lot of reasons. There's money, skills, resume, advancement. Maybe you want to be a district manager, a Cutco sales professional, run a branch, become a division or region manager one day. Or is it, for the customers, for the Mrs. Joneses of the world. As far as money goes, us as reps, we have exactly as much power as the top CSPs to make the amount of money that they do. They sell the exact same homemakers, the exact same trimmers, and the exact same super shears to the exact same customers. Like, they're selling to people just like we sell to people. They're selling the same product, they get the same CPO. The difference is they've been doing it a lot longer, so they've had more time and opportunity to invest into themselves, invest into their skills, and invest into their business more than you have. However, you also now have the opportunity to learn everything from them. And so I think a big focus of this Key Staff that I want to establish is this was something I learned at my very first team meeting, and it really impacted me, is this line: the more you learn, the more you earn. I don't know if you guys have heard that yet, but that's something to really think about, write down, and have that be just a key for moving forward. So first thing's money. Next up is skills. Skills is probably personally what motivated me, especially my first time around, back when I was assistant manager with Trey. I really wanted the skills Cutco had. I really wanted to learn to be more outgoing, how to talk to people better, how to build rapport better, how to close, how to read people, be able to, like, introduce myself onto the phone with someone who's never met me and have them, be able to go into their house. Like, I thought all those skills were really cool and could be applied to so much later. So really, I want you to think about how can the skills you learn here now impact you for the rest of your life. I mean, obviously, like, we all learned the Drew's objection cycle in training, and you can use that till the day you die. Like, that's going to be with you forever. It's never going to leave you. And there is so much more that you can learn here that it will also stay with you forever for anything you do. You can make the ability to rapport with anyone, handle any objection, manage your own finances and like profit and loss, like you're really run a business from a financial aspect. To learn to provide amazing customer service. Face your fear of being told no, being able to persevere through hard times of, a lot of no's and a lot of rejection. I know everyone here's had yes, sales streaks and no sales streaks, and just being able to face it and move forward and carry on. To be able to influence others into making, their lives better for themselves, being able to have that impact on other people. For your resume, how much professional and prepared will you be to land your dream job after selling knives? After you've invested yourself all the sales, time management, communication, interpersonal soft skills that Cutco has to offer, like, how much better will you be to land your dream job one day, and how much, can you build your resume from what you do now? Or maybe you're happy right here where you are and you want to stick around and you really want to see how far you can go in it. How far can you go? Like, what impact can you have on those that you work with? What will, like, the reps and the customers like say about you? What impact can you have on those that follow you? Because I know everyone's gonna have a team now. How much can you help them? How much can you really impact them to help them get the best experience they can? And lastly, this is where I really want to dive in deep, is really to spread the love of Cutco, because we all know Cutco is fantastic. But I really want you guys to just like stop and think, and like really think and really visualize just how many people already love their Cutco. And every person who you've sold to, like every knife you've sold so far, they probably used it today. Like, and that's crazy and cool to think about. Trey, what's your career sales now? Like with the office, like 300, what is your career sales?
Short career, 60 something.
No, like total career.
740.
So there's $747,000 worth of knives out there somewhere in Colorado. And they all, pretty much every single one of them use their Cutco today. Like, that's really cool. And Trey doesn't even know all of them. Like, that's cool. That's the impact you can have. All $11 million worth of Cutco that Curtis has sold is still being used. Like, it lasts forever. They don't get to use it once, then never use it again. They use it once and tomorrow and every day. They were, every knife that's ever been sold, it was probably used today, definitely used this last week. And just really, every demo you ever do, you are giving people the opportunity to own something that they will keep in use for the rest of their life. Even when you forget, like even if you completely forget who they are 10, 15 years from now, they're still going to have their Cutco that you bought from them. And even after like you pass and they pass, like their kids and grandkids are still going to be using that same Cutco. Like, forever is a really long time, and it's just a magnitude of value that you're giving people, and it cannot be understated. So just to really like connect to like that opportunity you're giving people in every demo, I think is really cool. Jesus, short talk. Okay. Cool. So that's kind of like some concept and stuff. Now I want to get into some like more just very implementable things. First up, for the Audible, is that installed? Yeah, cool. So go ahead and open Audible. Or here, do you guys have subscriptions yet? I'm assuming not. Okay, so I'll pay for your first month of subscription. I'll Venmo you all at team meeting. It should be like $15 or something. But essentially, I want you guys to write this down. It's "See You at the Top" by Zig Ziglar. That's "See You at the Top" by Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar is he's a cookware salesman from like the 60s. And he sold Wherever Cookware, which we actually own now. So this is like an OG, like back before we like sold, when Cutco was just knives, and then Wherever was just cookware. He was on the cookware side. And he was one of the top Wherever Cookware salesmen ever. Went on to be a very big motivational speaker and a really cool guy. And I want that to be something that you guys really, listen to. Listening to audiobooks when you're driving around is one of the best ways to invest into yourselves and really learn. Because the more you learn, the more you earn. So that's the first thing, is I want you all, to get that downloaded and start listening to it just whenever you drive around, wherever you have some time. Like, it's really easy to listen to music. I listen to music and Spotify when I drive all the time, but I also listen to Audible a good bit too. So getting some of that in there, I think a really easy way to help yourself grow in this job. Next up, I want to talk real quickly about conviction and being able to sell with real organic conviction. Because I think it's like, something we don't really talk about that much. And it's like, like PAX, how do I sell with conviction? Really, truly, you don't even have to think about it. All you have to do is fall in love with Cutco, which I mean is really easy. It's like probably the easiest things you can ever do. So this is just something I really want to put a conscious effort into, I know everyone here has at least a sample kit, and your parents probably have bought some knives from you or whatever. Whatever Cutco you have access to, use it. Like, use it every day. Like, make your breakfast, make your lunch, make your dinner with the Cutco. Like, find reasons to cut up foods and play with it. Because the more you use it, the more you like understand the value, the more you believe in it, the more natural and easy it is for you to sell it. So I mean, when I didn't start selling signatures until I started using the cheese knife, like, and the Hardy slicer and the Petit Santoku, like, oh, I started using those knives. I thought they were really cool. All of a sudden, I started selling more signature sets. So really using your Cutco is one of the easiest ways for you to start selling more. Another thing you can do is listen to past customers talk about how much they love their Cutco. This is really easy. This is why, demos with people who already own Cutco are so valuable. Because they already believe in it, so it's going to be a bit of an easier sale. But on top of that, you get to experience like the customer's point of view, and let them tell you about how much they love Cutco, and then you can take that with you to every other demo that you do. And third, and this is a little bit like going back to the first one of using your Cutco, I really want you, this is something I did that really helped me really fall in love with the knives. And I don't know like how much I recommend this on a recording, but I guess we're gonna record it anyways. But this is to play with your Cutco. Me and my friends, when I first started, we would play Fruit Ninja with the knives, and it's a lot of fun. Like to throw an avocado up and cut it in the air. Just find ways to really use the Cutco and fall in love with it and play with it. And do everything you can just to, really build your conviction and just experience it firsthand, so you can be more authentic when you're telling people how great it is. Then we already talked about investing in yourself with Audible. That's going to be a big theme of Key Staff, is to like really lead your own bus and kind of take personal responsibility for investing in yourself. So whether that's a Vector Connect talk, showing up to things like this, audio books. I mean, See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. That's just my personal recommendation to kick you off. My goal is that you like fall in love with learning on Audible, like learning, there's all sorts of great books and recommendations, and things you can learn that you can apply to anything in your life. And I think just being open to what's possible out there is really my, intention and goal here today. And then, Trey, have you all been to Drew's Ultimate Close? No? Okay. Well, we won't talk about that then. Cool. Any questions?
I think I was at the Ultimate Close, not fully sure.
Oh, yes, Michaela, you were at the Ultimate Close. Sydney wasn't. That's when you, Miguel, and Emma were up in the office before team meeting.
Yes, that's what I thought, but I had to be sure.
Okay. So just a little thing on, because one of my favorite lines out of the Ultimate Close, Assuming that it's still taught the same, it's the exact same as it was, cool. So I mean, I cut it out and I put it, like, I literally cut out the handout and put it into my demo. But this is just a little more like advanced, I also, and this is a really good line for Sydney for you to put in. It's Mrs. Jones, I'm gonna ask you to buy one of these sets. If you say no, don't worry, I won't be offended. But if you say yes, you'll have the greatest set of knives in the history of the universe for the rest of your life. That's the little thing that I actually read about in a FBI negotiations book. Actually, I didn't read it, I listened to it on Audible. But anyways, that's something they call right of refusal. And it's something really powerful for sales and influence and just in any capacity, that if someone doesn't feel like they are allowed to say no, they will fight like their life depends on it to say no. Because if they feel like cornered and coerced, they're not going to listen. Whereas if you give someone, like, you make it very clear that they are allowed to say no and make their own decision, they're infinitely more likely to say yes, because then they're actually going to be open to listening. So that's something that I just wanted to, like, explain why that line works so well, and what you should, you should probably use it whenever you're trying to convince someone of anything ever. Just make it clear, like, hey, I get paid, whether you do or don't, like, it doesn't affect me. This is a decision you get to make. If you say no, don't worry, I won't be offended. Like, that is huge for selling Cutco. That is huge for anything you want to do, is just being able to make it their decision and not you trying to force them into something. So there was, and that's, something you get the line here, but then learning like the psychology behind it in the books and stuff is really cool and exciting. Sydney, did you need that line again? You get it?
No, I need it again.
Okay. Yeah, so Mrs. Jones, I'm going to ask you to buy one of these sets. So it's Mrs. Jones, I'm going to ask you to buy one of these sets. If you say no, we'll wait for you to give me a thumbs up. Cool. If you say no, don't worry, I won't be offended. But if you say yes, you'll have the greatest set of knives in the history of the universe for the rest of your life. If you say no, don't worry, I won't be offended. But if you say yes, you'll have the greatest set of knives in the history of the universe for the rest of your life. That also plants the seed for you asking for the order later. It's a really good 2-in-1 line. Great. Cool. I guess I was hoping this would take a little bit longer. I guess I can just talk about some other things.
So something that I think would be good for Sydney and Michaela is two things. So one, making sure that we're showing the right people. So like Mac customers. So if you can talk about like how you built your names list, going back to mom, going back to dad, going into and like talking to like your friends' parents on how to get more names and numbers and how to build your names list through social media. I think that'd be a really great topic for you to talk about. And then the next thing is ultimate pieces and how to sell ultimate and signature sets along with the dropping. Actually, that's a lie. Just like the closing mentality. Like,
okay.
like no matter what, selling at least something.
This is here. So for the referrals and getting good people, this is something I actually just learned listening to a old Vector Connect talk from like 2013 that Drew recommended me. Because there's, when you're getting referrals, we talk about what are this, thought joggers, like, oh, who do you know who likes to cook, or whatever. The best thought joggers are really specific, and it's good to ask for the people you specifically want to see. And this is something that I've recently implemented, and it's helped me see better people. So for me, I know that like people who have kids who go to I'm out and generally have money. That's where I went to high school. So if I ask something specific, like, hey, who do you know who has kids at Cheyenne Mountain? Boom, they think of that person immediately, and then they have to write it down. So asking specific thought joggers of exactly who you want to see in your like in your area or your community. I love doing demos in Monument. I sell so many Siggies in Monument for some reason. So I'll ask, hey, who do you know who lives in Monument? So just kind of wherever, you know, it's and in the talk, he talked about like there was some synagogue like in his area that a bunch of like wealthy people went to. So he would ask in every demo, who do you know that goes to XYZ synagogue? Or who, you know, so know like where the Mac people in your community kind of hang out, like what networks exist in your community, and then ask people who they know in those like networks or communities. Like, who do you know who's a member at the Broadmoor? Who do you know that owns a boat? Who do you know that, like, make it specific? Because I mean, as great, I mean, you can definitely, I still ask who do you know who likes to cook, just because it like breaks the ice of me, you know, asking for thought joggers. But it's not actually that good of a thought jogger because it's rare that they'll have like the, you know, someone specific. You know, so having the thought joggers that are specific and obvious going to be Mac customers is huge, because Mac customers really is the key. Second part, I know referrals are a little bit differently with the app than the way I do it. Three-way text sounds phenomenal. Personally, I send my customers a text message that then I have them forward to every customer while I'm still in their house. And that's it. And then I can find it real quickly. It's a baller text message. Just go back to Peter, was his wife. Okay, so like last demo, I got referrals from my name was Jen. So I texted Jen, hi, just wanted to let you know that Pax, my Cutco guy, will be giving you a call. He's trying to win a scholarship by showing Cutco. You don't have to buy anything, just listen. He needs credit. Thought you'd be nice enough to help out. He's super sweet, smiley face. And so she texts that to every single one of her people, which is great, because then people will respond to her being like, okay, cool. And then like, that's a yes. And I know I can call those people and get a demo immediately. Or if someone's like, oh, I don't want to listen to a Cutco demo, like she tells me I don't have to call those people, which I mean, I haven't actually had that happen in a while, but it happens every now and then, which is great, because then I don't even have to worry about calling people who are just going to say no anyways. So giving, and then it's also, they get a heads up. So it's way easier to book the demo when I do call them, because it's, hey, my name is Pax, did Jen let you know I'd be calling? And they go, oh yeah, totally. And I'm like, cool, great, go through my script, super book, easy every time. Like I have, that text message has made my what is that, the phoning percent of like people who book when you like talk to them just skyrocket, because they actually know I'm calling, and I've already kind of like agreed with the customer that they're going to see it, which is really cool. And then for closing, there's different closing questions you can ask. The base one in the manual is really good when you're new and you're really scared to ask for the order of, hey, Mrs. Jones, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you, would you like to try out the homemaker set today and get your free gifts? Like, great. When I had butterflies in my stomach because I was scared to ask for the order for the first time, saying that I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask totally made me more comfortable, made me actually ask for the order. Now, my favorite way to ask for the order is just say, like, after I say the price, it's, how does that sound? So for me, it'll be like, okay, the homemaker set is whatever. I don't even know the price, actually. I just have it written down. But the reason I love how does that sound is because instead of being a yes or no question, it's a yes, or they just say the objection question. So I don't have to be like, do you want to buy it? Yes or no. They say no, and then I have to go, oh, well, why not? And then they explain it, and they have to like handle the objection after they've said no. And it's like a weird dynamic, versus if it's, how does that sound? And they go, oh, that's, more than we'd want to afford. Like, oh, cool. Then like, I can just drop down super smooth and easy without, or like, give a better discount, or, oh, I'm not sure about these. Like, it's just, it shifts it from like a yes, no argument into a like, I have these issues, how can we solve them? And then we're figuring it out together. And it makes handling objections like just super organic and easy, and you don't have to really think about it as handling objections. You're just working through what, you have to do to make it work for them. Because I use Blake's clothes, which is similar to Drew's. So how does that sound? I think is huge. Do y'all know
What's your mentality when it comes to closing?
that's so for my mentality when it comes to closing, that's why I was talking about using the Cutco, because I mean, like, I know people are gonna love it because I love it. And I don't know how I can tell you that you like how to get that without using yourself and loving it. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I can tell you to like, oh, believe in Cutco, but until you use, like, that's hard to do until you've used it and like experienced it for yourself. And I mean, I have a big advantage of like my mom's homemaker is older than I am. So like I get a lot of conviction from her being like, Pax, like this stuff is awesome. People should have it. I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, totally. Like, so for me, like I know that like whatever I sell them is gonna last them forever. And it's like the best thing that I could do for them is have them buy as much as possible, because like nothing else they could spend their money on is gonna last nearly as long, is gonna like be worth as much as the Cutco is going to be worth. I think buying Cutco is one of the smartest things anyone can ever do, just because of how long it lasts, and what a big impact having your own knives that'll last forever, that are sharp, that are fun to use, can have on a person. I mean, one of the healthiest things you can do, like if anyone wants to be healthy, which pretty much everyone does, is cooking your own food. Like, you don't have to try to cook healthy food. Just cooking your own food is one of the healthiest things people can do, anyone can do. And cooking your own food is a lot easier and a lot more fun when you like your knives. Like, cooking with dull knives sucks. So a lot of people who hate cooking, like I would hate driving to work if my car didn't start. Whereas if I had like a Ferrari, I'd love driving to work every day. So like by changing the tools that people cook with, you can really change the dynamic of how much they enjoy cooking. Which I mean is way healthier for them. That saves them a lot of money. It's a great way to connect with your family. And that's a big part of like the effect that Cutco has on people. Like, even though it's like, sure, it might be like a small thing going from dull to sharp knives, but just like the butterfly ripple effect that it has on a family, it can be quite dramatic. Got another question for me, Trey?
Yes, how do you close on sets, and what's your mentality on sets all the way from the starter sets, homemaker, signature, ultimate? What do you think about the price? How do you ask for the order? Do you get nervous to ask for the order when it comes to other sets? And what is your mindset and what is your thought process when talking about any and all the sets versus individual pieces?
So for me, my mindset is I truly believe that a homemaker should and could easily cost $10,000. Like, I think homemaker for $10,000 for it lasting forever is a fair price. Like, forever is such a stupid, ridiculously long time. And to know that my great grandkids are going to be using the same knives I used, and they're still going to be performing just as well because they're guaranteed to perform as the top knives ever, like forever. Like, I would, I think that's phenomenal. So I think that Cutco is ridiculously cheap at the price that it is at. For my closing style, I love shifting the close from a yes or no to a yes or yes. That's why I love, how does that sound? Because instead of a yes or no, it's yes or objection. And then I can get it to like a yes or yes of either, do you want to get this or that? I don't know, like, I don't want to change too much, like versus how they're doing it. But if you can if you can take the closing, yeah, Michaela.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt you or anything, but like my question is really like it's easier to implement this stuff, like I feel like on the written, like it's just kind of weird to have my paper reading off the script when I'm doing virtual demos. So like, should I just like memorize all the like extra scripts? Because like with the ultimate close, like it has a slightly different script, which is obviously not on the virtual, and I can't change the virtual to have what it says.
Yeah, so what I would, I mean, this is because, I mean. What I would honestly recommend doing is taking whatever like implementations you want into your virtual demo. And because the virtual demo, it has the script for you, like right there, right? Just copy that, put it in a Google Doc or a Word doc, and just edit and add the ultimate close, how you want to do it. And then
Okay.
just fill out that instead. Like for me, I couldn't, implement truth close until I finally just cut it out and taped it in. Like, and then I write in um like I have this is a new, I mean, I used to have Drew's ultimate close like taped over like this part here. So just take the time and just make the effort to put in the notes into the demo that like so you can do it the way that you want to do it.
Okay.
So yeah, because I mean, that'd be, I get it. It would be weird to be reading off of the screen and then have to read off the notes and like try to go back and forth. So just take care of that, ahead of time. Yeah. What kind of objections do y'all get?
I get objections like can I change the price? I get those objections. I get like, can I add more products to the line? I get very weird objections.
So for the price, you can tell them like you don't set the price, Cutco sets the price. Which is, I mean, because I know I've heard of other people getting that, and that's what they say is, just being straight up, like, no, sorry, I wish I could, but I can't. This is the price Cutco sets. This is the discount that they give on when you're doing the scholarship demo. For urgency on closing, like, gosh, I don't want to, like, I wanted to keep it concise. For creating urgency, I love giving discounts. I think discounts just are a lot easier and make a lot more sense than the free stuff. Free stuff are a lot easier on the reps when you're new, but like the trade-in special discounts are so much easier on the customer's brain. So it's always, for me, I always say, hey, because I'm in your house, that normally the price is this, your price because I'm here is whatever the discounted price is. I don't know, I've kind of started rambling. It's gone off topic. I really also wanted to have a good phone jam today too. So, Trey, anything else you want me to?
Sydney, what kind of objections are you getting?
Yeah. My main objections are usually either the price, it's too much, or they're either, because I get a lot of numbers from my Nana's friends, and so they're either like too old, and they say, I've gotten a lot where they say they give away more things than they're buying, or they just straight up don't cook anymore.
Yeah, so I mean that's, I see how that's where kind of seeing the right people is going to be an impact. So that's where, I mean, you can ask from like literally ask like, who do you know who just got married? Mac. Who do you know that's just bought a house? Who do you know who has young kids? Who do you know that they're at a kid go to the first day of kindergarten because like school is starting? Like who posted first day of school pictures on Facebook? Just be specific about Mac customers and ask for Mac customers. And that way when you show Mac customers, because showing Mac customers really is so much easier than selling to everyone else. And I would handle that objection. I think for price, I think there's a big difference between people saying it's too expensive versus it's more than they can afford. When they say it's more than they can afford, that is beautiful. That is exactly what you want here, because that means that they would buy it if they could afford it. But like the homemaker's too much, then dropping down becomes really easy. Too expensive means that they don't think it's worth the price. And you need to like handle that before it comes up. It's, that's where you need to really sell it's expensive because when you're going over the features and benefits and like why Cutco's so great. Because I know I used to be shy about saying that it's expensive, then people would tell me it's too expensive, and then that it would be hard to close. Versus if I tell them first, hey, it's expensive and it's worth it because of XYZ, exactly as the demos tells you to do, then that objection started going away, and it was shifted to a that's more than we can afford, and then it became dropping down to find what's right and comfortable within their budget, and then it's a real easy sale. Michaela, you had your hand up. Um. Yeah. Any other questions? Did some good stuff.
Cool. Takeaways. Okay, well, Sydney, go.
You caught me right before I took a bite. So, takeaways, right? Um, mainly just like focusing. It's like a double why when
Yep.
you're like going with Cutco. It's like focusing on like why you're selling and then why they should buy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the big focus, and that's how you sell more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, really thinking about like what's, you know, win-wins, what's in it for you and what's in it for them, and being very clear about both sides. And I mean, really, you don't have to tell them what's in it for you. Like, they don't, people are pretty narcissistic, they'll like don't really care that much about what's in it for other people, but that's what it makes it your job as a salesperson, is to be able to show them what's in it for them. When they see the value to themselves, obviously you already know what you get out of it. So love that. Sydney.
I would probably be being like very specific with the thought joggers. I've never like done that. I'm just like, who do you know? Who you're closest to? Like mainly starting with family members first and then kind of growing out. But yeah.
Yeah, asking for the people that you know that you want to see in a clever way of like, who's a Mac customer, so who's you know, who do you know that just got married, who, you know, all those people who are perfect people to see.
Awesome. Well, go ahead and give Pax a round of applause. Awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and stop the recording. And if you're watching this, send me your takeaways, and then make sure to do a phone jam and make sure to do those action steps. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe. New videos come out when I post them. Subscribe to the channel. Let's try to build the channel, and I'll talk to you guys later.